Thanks for checking out our training videos drawing casework in AutoCAD. I am Barry Ivy with CDRAFT Casework Drawings, and this video is going to be on our drawer stacks. What is a drawer stack? It is simply a base cabinet that is drawers only. And as you see, we have 6 commands, D1 through D6, and that's the number of drawers you're going to get. The D1, laugh if you will hardly ever use it, but I did recently use it as a bench, so it does come in handy when you need it. You got it. If you don't use it. So let's take a look at how these work. Let's zoom out, do the SA command. So we want to load up what we need in the background, set our scale, do a Z2 to zoom in on sheet 2, TG inserts the tag for us and creates that auto insert point. Now, using these commands are very simple and very easy to figure out. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to look at the math that is driving the heights of these drawer fronts. And what is driving that is what I call a sitting height. Typically, the sitting height is going to be 30 inches. So, for example, a 4-drawer stack at 30 inches is going to have, well, you'll have 30 inches minus the toe kick minus the thickness of the countertop divided by 4. Typically, your countertop's going to be 1.5 inches. Typically, your kick's going to be 4 inches. So you subtract that out, divide by 4, it's going to give you 6 1/8. So typically, your drawer fronts for a box, and when I say box, it's going to be box file, is going to be 6 1/8 inch. Okay. That can change, but what I want to make everybody aware of is the math that's driving that in the background so that you can utilize it. For example, that sitting height of 30, if you run into a situation where all the office countertops are at 29, you have to set that 30 inches, that sitting height variable, to 29 so that your drawer fronts will come out properly. And where that's going to be an issue is when you have, say, a 4-drawer stack sitting beside a box file or a file. So let's take a look at that real quick. So let's do a B11, which is a base cabinet, 1 door, 1 drawer. Width, height, 30 inches. We just said it's going to be sitting height. 1 shelf, 1 cabinet's fine, and there's our cabinet. Now again, all these commands are this drawer front is being driven by a variable of 30 inches, a sitting height of 30 inches. The reasoning for that is, let's do a D4 where you have 4, and it's going to obviously be 4 equal boxes. Width is fine, height is fine, 1 cabinet, not going to switch. Now notice what's happening here is these are going to line up. Then if we do a D2, the drawer fronts are still going to line up. Okay, so the math that's driving you in the background is based off of the sitting height minus the kick minus the counter divided by 4. And again, at 30 inches, 1.5 inch top, 4-inch base, that's giving you 6 1/8. That number can be modified if you need to. So here's what's going to happen. Let's just do a 4-drawer, sorry, 18 wide, and let's go 28 inches. Now what's happening here is we're below the sitting height standard, okay? And so each one of these boxes are going to be less than 6 1/8 inch. But once we get to the 6 1/8 inch, let's see what they've turned out to be. So you're at 5 5/8. But at 30 inches, you're at 6 1/8. Okay? So once we draw the same command, let's do a D4 again. We'll go 18 again, but instead of 30, let's go 32. What's going to happen is the bottom drawer is going to grow. So now these 3 drawers are going to be 6 1/8. But this one's going to grow. It's taking out the slack, so to speak. So here's how this is going to work. Let's get these out of your way. So this is how these are going to work. The drawers are going to be equal until you get to a certain height, sitting height typically. Once you hit that certain height, then above that it's going to add to the bottom drawer front. And as you increase in height, it's going to add to until you get to a file size, which will be double the box size. So you'll be 12 1/4 instead of 6 1/8. Once you hit that magic number of 12 1/4, guess what? The next drawer front's going to start to grow. And then when you hit that next magic number where this one and this one's both 12 1/4, then the next one's going to grow. So as you go up in height, you're taking the slack out of the bottom to a certain point, and then once you hit that file drawer height of 12 1/4, then it's going to be bumped up from there. Now keep in mind that 12 1/4 is also variable based off of the sitting height. The majority of the time the sitting height is going to be set at 30 inches, that's fine. But if you get in a scenario where you're doing a bunch of box files, files, whatever, and you're at 31 inches or 29 inches or whatever, you have to remember to set those numbers, because if you don't reset that sitting height number, then all these drawer fronts are going to come in funky for you because you're off of that 30-inch standard. And really that's about all there is to the drawer stack commands. They're going to operate the same. It's just understanding how the math works to drive the height of these drawer fronts. And if you have any questions, feel free, give me a call, and we'll go over it. It's a little complicated to kind of wrap your head around, but once you do, it'll make life a lot easier. I appreciate it. Again, this is Barry with CDRAFT. Have a good day.